Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of Mastering Mains PYQ. Today we will be continuing our social justice question. So today's question is skill development program have succeeded in increasing human resource supply to various sectors. In this context, analyze the linkage between education, skill and employment. So the questions look straightforward in prima facie, but you need to analyze the nitty-gritty of the question. So in this question, you need to analyze what? You need to understand context of the question, what context is saying, and then link those context with respect to three things, that is education, skill and employment. So in this question, the structuring of your answer plays a very important role in you getting a good number. So each question has a different niche area, each question has a different demand which evaluator asks from you, and fulfilling of those demand will help you get good marks. So let's begin our question. In this question, in introduction aspect, what we can start. So you can start your introduction in two ways. First, simply start with some data. What sort of data here you can use? You can simply quote, according to a National Skill Development Corporation, nearly 100 million people have been skilled in various sectors. So you can simply start with data. This highlights the crucial role of skill development in our development process. So you can just simply start with this line. Or what you can do, you can start with some demographic linkage. So as you know, to reap the benefit, India is in the cusp of demographic dividend. How? Because we have median age of 20 years as compared to 45 in USA, 49 in Japan, way beyond 40 in China. So we have a young population. And to reap the benefit of this young population, what we need to ensure? We need to ensure the proper skill development. So from here, you can start linkage, skill development, demographic dividend, and then development process. So these are some of the way in which you can start your answer. So after starting your answer, how you can start your body part? So in body part, you need to cover three major aspects. First is elucidate the context. Second is linkage of education with employment. Third is skill with employment. So these are the three major aspects in which you can structure your answer. Okay. So these are the three major things that you can structure in your answer. So first let's discuss how you should be elucidating the context. So as you know, what the context is saying, that skill development program has provided effective human resource in various sectors. How you can prove? You can just highlight that in various sectors like construction, like infrastructure, like then you have mobile manufacturing, then you have IT enabled services, then you have health services, then you have textiles. So all these are the major sector where skill development program has provided a huge amount of human resource to the concerned sector. And how this sector is performing in past few years, you already know. Textile sector is growing at a 5 to 6% of growth. Then infrastructure sector, we have huge amount of big projects coming out. The Gati Shakti program, why this program have become so crucial? Because now we have a huge skill development, and we have a huge human resource at our disposal. Why industrial development in many hinterland regions are coming up? The textile industry, the handloom industry, the handicraft, the cottage industry. Why they are developing? Because of the presence of upcoming human resource development. How the city like Surat has become so prominent in past few years. Why? Because of very good amount of skill development and human resource development. How the city of Bangalore, how the city of Pune have become forefront in the era of information and technology. Why? Because of the presence of huge skill force with respect to information and technology. So this is the power skill which can convert this power into employment. And when you have employment, definitely it contributes to the economic development of any country. So you can observe how these industries are linked with education and employment. So after highlighting the context, you can move on to the next part, that analyze how this thing is linked. So what you can do in the second part, you can link first how education is linked with employment. Before highlighting this, there are three major aspects of the education, skill and employment. What? If education acts like a foundation of any building and skill is pillar of that building and employment is the building itself. So for any human resource to effectively utilize the benefit of human resource, you should have an effective foundation. We should have a very nice pillar to support that foundation, and we should have to help those get benefit. We should be having the building in the form of employment. When all these three things combine together, we can reap the benefit of demographic dividend. So how education acts like a foundation? It provides basic knowledge. It helps in mind development, and then recognition. Okay, so these three things are provided by education, and how these things are very important and how these are linked. For instance, you can take the example of engineering background. Why still after so many engineering colleges, why still after so many IIT, NITs and engineering college, still our employability of our skilled engineers are very low, because they are not very well skilled. After coming out of the college, it is very difficult for any engineer to get immediate job because of lack of vocation education, because of lack of training. This is why skill development is very crucial to get employment. So education sector. Similarly, take the case of health sector. Why any MBBS graduate is employable within few years of after completion of the graduation, because during the whole process they go through the skill development. All the things that they do in their education, they are concerned with the skill development. So this is the importance of skill. When skill meets education, definitely we will meet the employment. Okay, so we need to focus on our excellence. Definitely employment will follow us. Okay, after this, how skill development is very crucial as an aspect to employment. Okay, so it enhances our, it provides us training capability. It allow us to get work. It allows us to get some good work. It allows us, how skill is important. Skill allow us to get some decent vocation. Okay, because in any industry, what a human can human needs a to get their input, and this input is work as an output for an industry. Until and unless there is skill, we cannot ask our industry to work at a full capacity. We cannot ask our any institute to work in a full capacity. So in the era of IR 4.2, skill development is most crucial aspect of anything that we can have, because until and unless we have a well skilled population, definitely the development would not be happening. Okay, so to reap the benefit of demographic dividend, skill development is very important. All these things will how will this it will ensure the employment. How we can get employment because of a skill? You can take the example of Vietnam. You can take the example of China, South Korea. How they progress, why they got such amount of forex reserve, how their manufacturing sector is booming, because of well educated and skilled labor force. Take the example of Vietnam. They have developed their niche in sports shoe, textile. Okay, the company like Nike, Puma, Adidas have shifted their base to Vietnam because of skilled labor force. How China? You take the example of China. China is still the largest manufacturing hub of the world. Apple's phone is designed in California, but assembled in China. So they are shifting their niche. They are ensuring that their citizens should have a proper skill development. They are ensuring that their citizens should have a proper education sector. Because of this reason, they are having a proper employment, and due to this, their economy is growing. Similarly, take the case of South Korea. South Korea, what is doing? It is focusing on innovation. So the kind of innovation we are seeing in the industrial evolution 4.0, like the additive manufacturing, like the pharmaceutical sector, like the LED screen, all these things are coming from the South Korea. The Samsung, all these are South Korean company. So they are focusing on innovation and research and development. Because of all these things, they are having a decent employment opportunity for their population. So after writing all those things where you have highlighted education linkage with the employment, skill linkage with the employment, what you need to do here also, you need to link one more thing. You need to highlight the various government programs. So when you are writing, for instance, when you are writing education linkage, you need to mention new education policy 2020, which is focusing on vocational education. So that the evaluator must know that he or she is does not knowing only the one aspect. He or she is able to link the other aspect of the question with respect to answer. So that's why your answer become holistic. Similarly, when you can write about skill development, the Skill India mission with a target of training 40 crore youth. Then what you can do, you can tell about recognition of prior learning, where recognition of prior learning means you are already trained, but you need some recognition to analyze those already skills. For example, a mason, for example, a painter, if trained and properly with respect to modern age painting techniques, like the instead of brush they can use rollers, so obviously their employability would increase. An engineer coming in their fourth year, the final year, should be able to know how to, if he or she belongs to mechanical background, he or she should be able to, if an engineer belongs to mechanical background, he or should be able to know how the machine works. From electronic background, they should be knowing about the very large scale integration, VLSI, the transistor. So these are the things that ensure the employability of any workforce, and recognition of prior learning ensures that. Okay, coming on to the health sector, the nurses, the auxiliary midwives, they should be able to train, they should be able to know the modern age technology of very health devices, the medical institute, all these things, so that when they go into the field, they are well prepared. And while they are well prepared, definitely would be having a nice pool of human resource. Similarly, you can take the case of infrastructure. Okay, here also many crucial things happen like industrial specific training. This will ensure that there is a proper infrastructure development. So all this initiative you can write in your answer and simultaneously link all those initiative with the question, so that you can have a decent number. After this, you can I am highlighting one best practices that you can highlight. Best practices like the Kutumbshri, how they have developed, they have developed first skill, and then using that skill, what they are ensured, they have ensured the economic independence. And when their economic independence has ensured, all these things led to their social empowerment. So this was not a silo. Kutumbshri became a holistic development program for the every sector. So Kutumbshri has highlighted how education and skill can ensure the empowerment. So if Kutumbshri can do that, we can have many millions of Kutumbshri in our country, so that our country is women, so that our country is marginalized section, and every poor to rich, everyone should have a equal base to progress. That's why a nation progress. So after writing all those things, well, in what way you can conclude? You can just simply just talk about 4 E's of skill development. What are those 4 E's? Efficiency, education, equity, and employability. You can talk about these 4 E's, that to ensure the benefit of demographic dividend, to ensure that skill development and as and the human development is linked with the economic progress of country, we need to ensure the 4 E's of skill development, that is efficiency, which means getting the best output from the minimum input, the education, which is the foundation for any skill development program, then the equity, all the marginalized section should be the part of development process, and finally the employability. After doing all these things, a person should be able to get the decent employment. So all these things connotes to the development of human resource, and when there is human development, resource development, definitely it will be linking to economic development, and when there is economic development, a nation ensures that there is a social progress. So this is the way you can structure your answer in the format of linking education, skill and employment, and definitely you can get some good marks. So this was all about today's question. We will meet with some other question next day. Thank you very much.